So let's come to the front of our chairs and work on our tall posture. So this will kind of be the set posture that we'll come back to in between our exercises and in between your repetitions. Think about your chest up tall, squeezing your shoulder blades back together, and you can even add a little bit of a chin tuck. This is our set and ready position. So holding this posture, let's do some arm reaches. So arms up overhead, wide fingers, and back down. You can coordinate your breathing so that you're inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down. That's 2. We'll go to 10 for our warm up here. This is 3, 4, 5, 6. Those fingers wide, posture tall. 7, 8. Warming up our arms. 2 more. 9 and 10. So I have 3 exercises that we're going to do a few sets of. So we'll start off with marches, and each time we'll do 10 more. So we'll start with 10 marches where you're raising your opposite arm and leg, or excuse me, 30. Or no, I'm getting all confused. Start with 10. Each time will increase by 10. So we'll do 10, 20, and 30. This first time is just 10, but then I'm going to switch it to a new exercise and we'll come back around. It'll make sense as we go. I said that confusing. So we'll start with 10 marches together, opposite arm and leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this next exercise is called a mummy kick. So you're gonna want to make sure you can see my feet. You're gonna kind of flutter your feet out in front of you. And while you're doing that, I want you to alternate which arm comes in front. So you can scoot back in your chair if you need a little bit of support on your back. But essentially you're alternating with your feet kicking. And as you're kicking, you're alternating, bringing one arm over on top of the other. So you can either kick your feet. It's a little bit harder if you noticed on that second time I was doing it. I'm actually keeping my legs straight and just lifting them up and down like that. So a little bit of coordination with this. So we'll do 10 of these and then we'll move on to another exercise. Because these are kind of quick movements, I'm going to count 1 each time my left arm comes over my right, because this one moves a little quicker. Okay, so 10 of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's our second exercise. And the third one we're going to do is just a cross punch. So alternating cross body punch. We'll do 10 of those, and then we'll start back at the top with our marches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're going to go back to the marches. This time we're adding 10. So we're going to do 20 marches, opposite arm and leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now we're going to our mummy kicks. We're going to do 20 of those as well. So kind of recline yourself a little bit. And as a reminder, I'm fluttering my feet and alternating which arm comes over top of the other. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you'll feel your core is really engaging for that one. And then we're going to do 20 cross punches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, back to our marches. This time we're adding 10 more. So we're going to do 30 marches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 10 more, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. All right, back to our mummy kicks, 30 of these. I'm reclining a little bit. I'm gonna flutter my feet and alternate which arm comes on top. 30, I'm counting each time my left arm comes over my right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Last 30 punches. Let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Nice job. Finish with those. We are going to transition into standing for our next exercise. You can also do, we're going to do some multi-direction stepping. You can also do this seated if you prefer. And if you're coming into standing, you can either do it with some space around you, or you can do it next to your chair so that you have some support.
Hey, Katie, on those monkey kicks, I felt like I had to like almost touch my foot to the floor to not have my foot do this.
Your camera is frozen. What was your foot doing?
I had to like tap my toes on the floor to not keep my feet from doing this.
Yeah, it's my feet wanting to cross over a little bit too. It's kind of like the patting your head and rubbing your stomach sort of thing. Making them do something different is a little tricky. So give everyone a second to come to standing. Who's going to stand up? We're going to work on some multi-direction stepping, like I said. So we're going to base this move off of the power step, except we're going to do it in lots of different planes. So the first one that we're going to do, and I can do this with some space around me. I can do it holding on to the chair with one hand. Make sure you feel safe. So I'm going to start with my right leg first, and I'm stepping forward with an exaggerated step, and then back together. And I'm going to use my arms too. If I was holding on to the chair, I would step out and back in, keeping my hand on the chair. If you're in your chair seated, do the same thing. Exaggerated step forward, exaggerated step back. Whether you're sitting or standing, try to lift your knee high. So let's start with just your right foot. Let's do 10 times, or your left foot. Start with one leg, 10 times stepping forward and back. I want you to count out loud with me at home. Let's do 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's switch to a side step. So I'm going to step directly out to the side, and I'm going to reach my right arm as I step out. I'm looking out at my hand and then stepping back together. I could do the same thing if I was holding on, just keeping it one hand on my chair as I step out to the side. 10 times. Let's count up by twos as we do this one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Last position we'll step is directly backward. So for this one, I'm going to bring both of my arms out in front of me as I step my right foot back and then stepping back in. If you're seated in your chair, I want you to turn out to the side to try to step that foot back as far as you can. So you're turning your body to try to really open up for that one if you're seated in your chair. Just stick to the same leg 10 times backwards. Let's count up by fives for this one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, stepping backwards, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. You guys look great. Let's switch to your other leg. So left foot for me, whatever side you didn't start with. Let's start with forward again, whether you're seated or standing, really lifting that knee high and adding the arms. Let's count up by threes this time. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. Now we're switching to the side. If you're in your chair, do that same step, but coming directly out to the side in your chair. So it would look like this. So stepping out to the side and stepping back in. In both positions, lift your knee high. Let's count backwards by 10. I'm starting at 10 by ones for this one. 10, and I'm really keeping my fingers wide. 9, looking out at my hand. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we have our backward step. Same leg, stepping backwards as you step back. Bring your arms out in front of you. As a reminder, if you're sitting in your chair, I want you to open up your leg to step as far as you can behind you. It will be hard if you don't have, or if you have arm rests. You may want a chair without arm rests. 10 times. Let's see. Why don't we count back from 2, by twos from 20. This will be 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, last one, 2. Those look good. If you haven't heard me say this in a while, I add the counting to it. A, to make sure we're breathing, but B, it is working on what we call dual tasking. Try to coordinate something, think about something like a math problem while you're having to move. That is something that's really tricky in Parkinson's, so we want to practice it here. Okay, so let's start to add some combinations. Let's do 20 alternating steps forward. So now I'm going to do my right foot and then my left foot. 20 times. Let's count up by threes for this one again. Adding your arms, tall posture. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, we're halfway done, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, 51, 54, 57, and 60. Nice job. Catch your breath for a moment. We're going to switch and do some steps to the side. As a reminder, if you want something to hold on onto for this one, you can always alternate hands. So if I'm standing behind my chair, I can do one side and then the other, and I'm just alternating what hand I hold on with. Especially if you notice that it's hard to take a big step, that you can step without holding on, but maybe your step is smaller, it may be worthwhile to hold on to something so you can get more bang for your buck and get a bigger step with it. So let's initiate our side stepping here. Let's count backwards, starting at 20, just by ones, we'll end at 1. Side to side, you can give yourself support if you want. I still want you doing this along with us in your chair, just stepping out to the side from where you're seated. Ready? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, our last direction to hit is going backwards. Again, I can use some support as I step back if I need to, alternating what leg you're stepping back with 20 times. Let's count up by 5s for this one. Let's get started. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. All right, catch your breath for a moment. We have a couple more pieces to incorporate with these steps, but grab a drink of water if you need to before we start. The first version that we're going to do is just following those steps in a circle. So as an example, you don't have to start with me yet. I'm going to use my right leg to step forward, my right leg to step out to the side, my right leg to step backwards, and then I'm switching to my left foot. My left foot will step backwards, my left foot will step out to the side, and then my left foot will step forward. So following that pattern all the way in a circle. That's the first version that we're going to do it at. I want to do that 4 times through in that circle. You can do it in your chair. You can give yourself some support of your chair if you need to while standing. 4 times through. So let's start with right foot forward or your left foot forward to the side and back. Now switching to the left side, left foot back or right foot back to the side and forward. Now to the other foot forward to the side and back. Switch legs backward, side and forward. Other foot coming forward to the side and back. Now other foot back to the side and forward. One more time around. Forward, side, back, other leg, back, side, and forward. You guys look great with that. I'm going to make it a little confusing now. I'm going to mix up the patterns so that it's a little bit more complicated to think through. We're going to do every other for this one. So I'm going to start with my right leg. You can start with your left leg if you want to just practice it with me. We'll go real slow. I'm going to do my right leg forward. I'm skipping side. I'm going to go right leg back. Now I'm going to skip my left leg back. I'm going to go left side. And then I'm going to catch the other 3 that I missed. Left forward, right side, left back. So it's basically every other, once I hit the third, then I start with the forward for the other side. So I'll show that again. It's skipping one as I go through. Right comes forward. I'm skipping the side. I go right back, left side. Then I have to catch the other two. So then I come left forward, right side, left back. So you're going every other for that one. A little bit trickier. You can follow along with me. Let's do 4 rounds through with that pattern. So my right comes forward, right back, left side, left forward, right side, left back. So that's 1, starting back at the top. Right forward, right back, left side, left forward, right side, left back. 2 more times. Right forward, right back, left side, left forward, right side, left back. Last time. Right forward, right back, left side, left forward, right side, left back. Nice job. We'll pause on that for now. We are going to get going with some of our circuits today. I have 2 circuits to get through. I'm going to pull up my timer for us. The first one has 3 exercises. We'll do a minute on and 30 seconds off. And I'll show you the, let's see, I'm getting through an ad. All right, so the first one we're doing is 4 direction lunges. So for this exercise, mimicking kind of the multi-direction stepping that we were doing, except you're going to go into a lunge. So when I go into a lunge, the first one I'm going to do, I'm doing diagonals for these. So as I'm lunging forward, I'm going to bend this front knee, my back leg stays straight, I'm lunging at this diagonal, and then I'm going to do a backward lunge. So backward and to my right, but except my back leg will always be straight and the weight's on my front leg. So I'm going backward at a diagonal, but still the weight is on my front leg. Then I'm going to go step backward at a diagonal to my left. My back leg is always straight. The weight's on my front leg. And then I'm going to finish with a lunge forward and to the left. My front leg is bent. I'll show you. My back leg is always straight for my lunges, weights on my front. So I'm doing diagonals, forward and to the right, backward and to the right. The only tricky part is when you go backwards, your weight is still forward, back leg is straight, back and to the left, left and forward. So 4 directions for those lunges. If you want some support, you can always do this with a chair next to you. You can still get a lunge in each position, just giving yourself some support. So that's the first exercise, 4 direction lunges. The next one we're going to do is alternating. I'm going to use my weights for this one. You're going to alternate. One arm is up overhead, one arm is tucked in at your side, and you're going to alternate doing an overhead press and a row at the same time. So my left arm is punching overhead, my right arm is doing a row backwards, and then I'm going to switch, row and punch overhead, switch, row and punch overhead. So a little bit of coordination. As I do the row, I'm just squeezing my elbow backwards. So my elbow starts at my side and I'm squeezing it back. So from the side, it looks like this. Then I switch arms like that. A little bit of coordination. You can give yourself a moment to set up, because I think that is where it'll get tricky, is after I do this, I want to give myself a second to get set up before I do that other side. That's our second exercise. I'm going to hold my weights for this last exercise. This is going to be a side stepping squat. I'm just going to hold my weights in front of me. Oh, I'm getting it mixed up. Never mind. So it's a squat with a direction change. I'm still going to hold my weights. So I'm going to start facing one side. I'm going to squat, take big steps to turn, squat, take big steps to turn. So see if you can step to the side in 3 steps. So squat, 1, 2, 3. So focusing on big steps during that turn. 3 exercises. After we get through once, we'll repeat them all again. You guys ready? And let's begin. So lunging forward, lunging back, and forward. So lunging to each direction. Forward, lunging back, and lunging forward. And I'm kind of keeping my hands tucked for this one. You can have them out to your side for balance if you need to. However feels comfortable. You are halfway done. "20 seconds left. Looking good. 5 seconds to go. So you can get 1 or 2 more lunges in. And rest. So we're going to grab our weights next for the alternating single arm row and overhead press. One arm is up, one arm is tucked at my side. I'm ready to go. We still have about 15 seconds to get started. And remember, after you do one, probably the trickiest part is switching your setup so that you can do the other side. Have a couple more seconds to get ready here. All right, let's begin. So 1 minute, alternating overhead press and single arm row. Good job, everybody. So for the arm that's rowing, you're squeezing your elbow back at your side. Good job, more than halfway done. Ten seconds. Three, 2, and 1. We're going to set up for our squat and big steps to turn around and face the other side. If you're staying in your chair for this one, I want you to do a glute set. So when we do our squat, I want you to think about bracing and tightening your bottom muscles, holding for a couple of seconds, and then relaxing. A great option for the squat is to hold on with one hand so that you can squat, have something to hold on to as you're turning, and then squat facing the other way. All right, let's get started. So squat, 1, 2, 3, squat. Big steps to turn. Keeping your posture up tall. Good job, we're halfway done. Keep it up, 15 seconds left. Three, 2, and 1. 30 seconds to rest. We're going back to the top, starting with our 4 direction lunges. If you are sitting in your chair, when we do the lunges, I want you to practice some of those stepping moves that we did. So stepping forward, stepping back behind you, stepping back behind you, and then forward again. Those are the directions I want you to focus on if you are in your chair while we're doing this. All right, let's get started. So lunging forward, lunging back behind me. Now the other foot, and then forward again. Bring my camera view down a little bit here. So lunging forward, my back leg always stays straight. Nice job, halfway done. So practicing lots of different angles today, because in life we don't always walk in one direction, but we have to adjust our balance, adjust our walking in many directions throughout our day. 10 seconds left, a little bit less. All right, rest, we're gonna switch to our arm exercise with our hand weights. We're alternating between that overhead press and that single arm row, and then I'm switching sides to switch those out. About 10 seconds to get ready. 2 more exercises, then we'll take a break. All right, let's begin. Alternating sides. On the arm that's rowing, really squeezing your elbow back to squeeze your shoulder blade. And take your time with this, especially because it takes so much coordination. Give yourself an extra second to set up if you need it. Nice job, we're halfway done. $15 seconds left. Three, 2, and 1. Last exercise, we're doing our squat with our change in direction. About 15 seconds to catch your breath and get set for this next one. You can always give yourself something to hold on to while you're stepping and while you're squatting. And if you're seated, I want you to do that glute squeeze, squeezing your bottom muscles and holding for a couple seconds. All right, let's begin. So squat, stepping 1, 2, 3, and then squat facing the other side. Good job. Halfway done. Ten seconds left. Keep pushing. See if you can get a couple more in. 3, 2, and 1. All right, grab some water, take a break. We have one more round of intervals that we're going to do. So I'm going to start to explain those as you're grabbing some water. The first thing that we're going to do is a squat with a side step. So I'm just holding my weights up at my chest for this one. I'm going to hold this squat and take big side steps. About 3 or 4 steps to the side and then back in. At that point, I can come out of my squat, or you can hold it while you're sidestepping. That's our first exercise. The next one is called a deadlift. So I want to show this exercise carefully. A lot of times when people think about deadlifting, we think it's all coming from our back, but really it's coming from our hips. So I'm holding my weights out in front of me. My knees stay relatively straight, and I'm sticking my hips back, and then I'm squeezing my glute muscles to help my hips come straight forward. My chest stays up the whole time. So my hips come back, my hips come forward. My knees stay relatively straight. So it's not a squat. Movement isn't coming from my knees, but it's all coming from my glutes. So start slow with that one when you're getting used to it. Make sure that you're not feeling it in your back at all. It should only be coming from your hips. And then our third exercise, I'm going to have us get down into half kneeling to do a side raise with our arms and our weights. You can also do this sitting. You can also do this standing. So same pattern, 1 minute on, 30 seconds off. Let's see, for seated, for the squat with the side stepping, let's have you practice bringing both feet out to the side, glute squeeze, both feet back in, glute squeeze. And so the glute squeeze is where you're tightening your bottom muscles, holding for a brief moment. So if you're seated, that's your first exercise. And the second exercise for the deadlift, you can practice the same thing in your chair, bending forward at your hips and squeezing your glutes to come back up. So you can do the same thing if you're seated, squeezing your bottom muscles to help you come back up straight. All right. So 2 rounds through. Let's get started with that squat and side stepping about 3 to 4 steps to the side and then back. Make sure you're taking big steps. Looking good. You're about halfway done. Keep it up, 15 seconds to go. 3, 2, and 1. All right, 30 seconds to rest. We're gonna set up for our deadlift. You can also do this deadlift holding on. So especially when people are first learning, I may have them hold on with one hand, a weight is in my other hand to practice the hips going back and then squeezing up forward. Your hips and your shoulders should stay square towards whatever your side you're facing. You want to make sure that you're not twisting as you come back down, but that your hips stay facing that same way. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So tipping your hips back, squeeze your hips to come forward. Nice. You can do the same thing if you're in your chair. Bend forward and then squeeze your hips to come back up. It's all about using those glute muscles. I want you to think about bracing your core as we do this so that you're drawing your belly button in towards your spine, like you're zipping up a tight pair of pants. And it can also help, like if you are thinking about like you have to really go to the bathroom and you're trying to hold it, that's bracing the same deep core muscles that we want to be holding our back steady while we're doing this. Everyone looks really good. Just make sure your chest is staying up so that you're not bending your chest towards the ground. 5 seconds left. And rest. All right, last one is coming down to the ground for our half kneeling shoulder raise. You don't have to come down to the ground. You can stay standing or stay seated. Otherwise, you can join me one leg up. The move we're doing is an arm raise out to the side. We still have 6 seconds to get ready. All right, let's begin. Nice and slow for this one, especially on your way back down. Don't let your arms come down too quick, but nice and slow. It's all about control. Nicely done. Everyone has such good control right now. Halfway done. You can switch legs if you'd like to, or you can stay with that same leg up. So after this, we have one more round for each of those exercises, and then we're going to make our way down to the mat for our prone power moves. All right, rest. Come back up to standing. You can push through this front leg. We have a 30-second break before we're starting again with those side steps. So remember, if you're in your chair, I want you to practice bringing both feet out to the side and both feet back in, and then stepping to the other side. Each time you bring both feet together, do a glute squeeze, bracing your bottom muscles together. All right, here we go. Getting into a squat, side stepping about 3 or 4 steps out to the side, and then 3 or 4 steps back. You can come out of that squat if you need to, or you can stay down in that squat for the full minute. Whatever is going to be a challenge for you. Everyone's looking really good, halfway done. If you are staying in that squat, make sure that you're not bouncing in and out of it as you step, but that you're staying low in it. About 10 seconds left. All right, and rest. 30 seconds, we're gonna get set up for that deadlift again. I'm bracing my core muscles, belly button towards my spine, like I'm zipping up that tight pair of pants. And it's a hip hinge. So my hips come back, then my hips come forward. All of it's powered by my hip muscles. None of it's coming from my back. Have about 5 seconds to get ready. You can do the same thing if you're seated, bending forward and squeezing your hip muscles to come back up. All right, here we go. Hip hinge, squeeze to come up. Make sure your feet are about shoulder width apart for this. And your knees can have a little bend in them, but they're relatively straight during this. It's not a squat. And looks good. Just keeping that chest up. About halfway done already. Good job, everybody. Where your hips go back. Stick your bottom back. Push your hips forward. Nice job. Keeping that core tight. 5 seconds left. All right, one more exercise. Come on down into that half kneeling. We have our side raise. This is our last exercise, and we're going to get set up for our power moves. You can either keep the same leg up, or you can switch halfway through. If you didn't switch last time, use your other leg. 5 seconds to get ready. My posture is tall. All right, let's begin. So nice and slow for this one. Slow coming up, slow coming down. I like to time it for about 2 seconds on the way up, 2 seconds on the way down. Using more control is going to help you get more bang for your buck. We are about halfway done if you're switching legs. Nice job. Keep working hard. Everyone's showing really good posture. Ten seconds. All right, that's a wrap. Nice job. Grab some water and meet me back down on the mats for our power moves. You can stay seated in your chair for the power moves if you'd like to, and I'll run through a reminder of what those are as well. Give everyone another minute or two to make your way down. If this is uncomfortable for your back, go ahead and grab a pillow to put under your stomach. So I'll show those of you who are seated, our first move is the power up. So as a reminder, if you're sitting for this one, we're bending down and then squeezing our shoulder blades back together, fingers are wide. For the power up in this prone position, we're going to start with your elbows out to the side. My chest is down. And as I power up, I'm pushing through my hands to slide my elbows in. And your elbows can either slide along the ground or you can kind of lift them up so they're about an inch over the ground as they come in. So let's do 10 of these together, whether you're seated or on your stomach. Let's count up by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, halfway, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So this is our starting position for our next power move. So my elbows are tucked under my shoulders and my chest is lifted. So for this move, you're going to reach up and across with wide fingers and then switch arms, reaching up and across. Same thing if you're seated, I'll remind you of that. Reaching up and across, stretching your leg out to the side, and then reaching up and across to the other side. All right, so we'll alternate side to side here. Do 10 on each side. Let's count backward by twos from 40 for this one. We'll end at 2. 40, 38, 36, 34, 32, 30, 28, 26, 24, 22, 20, 18, 16, good job, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. Nicely done. Next is our power twist. So I'm going to show this demonstration here. It's a little different than how I've shown it in the past. So for this one, we're going to still start in this position. I'm going to tuck, if I'm going to my right side, I'm going to tuck my left arm underneath so that as I tuck it, I'm going to roll, and now my right knee is touching the ground so that I can twist open and come back together. And then I'm going to put this hand back down so I can come onto my stomach again. And I'm going to roll the other way. So now my right arm is going to tuck through I'm gonna roll to the side so that my left knee is down, open up. And then I'm gonna bring this hand in so I can roll back onto my stomach. So I'll go a little bit slower for this one as we do that transition, because I know it can be a little bit tricky. But essentially all you're trying to do is get onto your side where your top knee is bent so that you can open your arm back up and back in. And I'm going to have us only do one on each side before we come back to the middle, because I want to practice that rolling transition. If you're seated, as a reminder, you're starting with arms wide open, turning to clap, opening wide again, and turning to clap on the other side. So I'm just going to have us do 10 of these because we're practicing that transition. So we'll all start maybe with our left arm tucking through, roll onto that left side so that your right knee is down. You're going to open up for a twist. Arm comes back, put your right hand flat to come back onto your stomach. Good. And now right arm is going to tuck through, open up into a twist. Left hand comes flat, back onto your stomach. So that's 2. Tuck your left arm underneath. Twist. That's 3. Now tuck your right arm underneath. Twist open. That's 4. Left arm tucks underneath. 5. Halfway done, tuck your right arm through. My left knee bends. Twist. 6. Tuck your left arm. Right knee bends. 7. 3 more. Tuck your right arm. 8. 2 more. 9. And 10. Last power move here, and then we'll finish with our cool down. We're on the home stretch. We're doing our power step where you're exaggerating, stepping your arm out and back in together. If you're seated, you're going to do that with your foot, doing a step out and a step in. Let's do 20 of these. We'll count backwards from 30 and we'll end at 10. Ready? 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 20, 10 more, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 2 more, 12, and 11. Great job, everybody. Come on back to your chair. We'll finish with our cool down. Right back up, grab a quick drink if you need to. That was a fast-paced class, so good job. Did not take as many breaks as I intended, so thanks for bearing with me and good job keeping up. Let's see, let's start with the shoulder stretch. So bring one arm across your body, use your other arm to pull it close towards you. We'll hold it here for 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's do some neck circles. So we'll go clockwise, 5 times. 1, 2, nice and slow, only go where it's comfortable. 3, 4, and 5. Now switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's transition to a hamstring stretch. So stretch one knee out in front of you, bend forward at your hips. Keep this knee straight. We'll hold here for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring one leg up across your knee. This bottom leg can be straight if that's hard to get your leg up that high. And you want to gently press on your thigh and bend at your hips till you feel a stretch across the back of your leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch legs. We'll hold again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 3 deep breaths in, arm raise overhead. And exhale down. 2 more. And last one. That's a wrap for today, everybody. Have a great holiday, and I will see you next week. And I'll stick on for a couple minutes if anyone has questions. I'm just going to clean up my mat.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Katie.
you,
Good
Katie.
class.
Very good.
Thank you, Katie.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Katie.
Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Giving no class, you guys remember Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no class. But there
Yes,
will
thank
be
you for that
pre-recorded
reminder.
class on the Zoom from YouTube.
Okay,
Enjoy.
perfect. Thank
Okay.
you, Lorna.
Thank you, Katie. Bye-bye.
Have a good Thanksgiving, guys.
Mhm.
Yep, you too.